Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 9th episode of Digitized Desperadoes. This week we've watched the Animatrix and Drifters.
Can we just say how awful the name The Animatrix is?
It's a really lousy pun.
It's the worst pun I've ever seen in a theatrically released film.
What would you call it?
In theaters?
What would you call it instead?
Holy shit! Really?
Yeah.
You animated just this little collection of shorts.
It's the freaking Matrix. It aired in 2003.
Yeah, the same year
were ape shit about the Matrix.
Came out.
Yes, people
when
were
everyone
in
was
the
like,
Matrix
"Oh,
hype.
this isn't good anymore."
I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something interesting to start this out. The Animatrix is the highest rated Matrix film.
Is it really?
It is the highest rated.
Wow.
More so than the original. You're shitting me.
By 2%.
Okay.
Wow.
I think it's because probably Matrix fans really liked it.
Yeah, that's Rotten Tomatoes, so,
and likely less people reviewed this than The Matrix.
Okay, to put it more in perspective, The Animatrix has 18 reviews, and The Matrix has 143.
Okay,
so that's not exactly fair.
I know. It was kind of a joke.
Okay.
But people really like this. I'll put it that way.
All right. I guess we should just dig into it one short at a time.
Yeah, unfortunately, while this was presented to us as a movie, it really isn't a movie. It's 9 short films. Well, more like 8 short films.
It's 9 short films and one is a 2-parter. So yeah, 8.
Right. So it's 8.
So yeah,
the first one was CG.
Final. Yeah, it was Final Flight of the Osiris. It's by Square. I think it was around the time of their Final Fantasy movies.
Yeah.
Oh my god, wait.
Yeah.
Really?
That's why it was
like
CG.
Advent Children. That's literally what I thought when I saw it. This looks like Advent Children. Now I know why. Oh, it makes so much sense now.
I'm pretty sure this was before Advent Children. This was more Spirits Within Square.
No, it's
which
like,
is worse.
This makes so much sense now. That's why it looks the way it does.
I thought
this was actually directed by. This was all done American. This isn't anime at all. Which is hilarious.
Oh, the guy who directed this was
directed by Andy
did visual
Jones.
effects for Avatar and Jungle Book.
Yep.
Which is Academy Award-winning stuff. So
that explains his origins.
This is early days.
Yeah.
For one Andy Jones.
Let me just say, for CG, this was pretty good.
Oh,
okay,
yeah, no.
the
note
what
I
say.
have for it is, we begin with sexy sword fighting and pretty alright CG.
So, here's my thing with the CG. It looks alright, but at the same time, it's 2003 CG when we didn't understand... prefacing this with Animation Major. We didn't have a bunch of cool... post-processing effects in CG. So while I would say that the texture quality, animation style, and actual poly count on all the models look really good, there's no good effects that really help sell it, so it still looks dated.
Yeah, I think it's very good when they're not moving.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when they're in motion, it's kind of like, ooh, that's...
Yeah. Even then, I really like the sword fight.
I thought the sword fight was cool, but it was kind of dumb, and the sound effects were really cheesy for some reason.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What else? The sequences when it was just the ship flying around and the machines attacking it, those looked good. Well,
I think the lighting effects were the bad part. I think it was the lighting effects.
I think that was the weakest part, was when they were moving around a lot in the ship.
Yeah.
I liked the brutal deaths, though.
Big murder.
Did you notice the really obvious fake deep when she was talking to the old lady and she was like, "Oh, I was in my own little world," and I was just like, "Aha!"
And it's like they're in the Matrix or something.
So dumb.
Let me just say, apparently that sequence was the prequel to one of the games.
Oh, apparently this I have this DVD set. Apparently it has a trailer. Let's see. It says on the back it has a exclusive look at the Enter the Matrix video game.
Yeah,
it is highly regarded as being bad.
Oh yeah, all the Matrix games are bad.
I think that's the one people talk about when they talk about the bad Matrix games, though.
Yeah. But anyway, the story of this one is a prequel to, I believe, the second Matrix film, and that's the one people think is alright. We haven't seen it.
Oh,
I haven't seen it, no.
Well, no, all my knowledge of the Matrix is just, you know, the passing stuff you absorb.
I've seen the
over
first
time.
one. It's really good, but apparently,
The first one's
like,
great.
the second one, they go deeper into the lore, and then it was just kind of like, eh. And then the third one, they're like, no, Neo's just Jesus. It's like, shut up. All right. So I thought this was overall all right. It could have looked better, but as it stands, I'm pretty sure there's some modern day Call of Duty cutscenes that look better than this.
It's fine. There's no problems with it. It's all right. It could be.
This is the weakest of the bunch.
I would say it's the weakest. Yes.
It's not the weakest, but it's
Really?
weak.
Okay.
It's weak, but
it's not my least favorite.
Okay.
Ooh.
I guess moving on. What did you guys think about the second Renaissance parts 1 and 2?
It felt necessary, but I didn't really like it.
Oh, I really liked it.
I was in on it. It's fine.
I really liked how they used all the so this one, the basic premise is how the robots came and took over the world, and it starts out, part 1 is the robots being oppressed by society. Insert
part
Detroit become human joke. Insert Detroit become human joke here. Yeah. I really like the imagery they used.
I just said that.
I really like the imagery they used for, like, the riots and stuff. They actually made you try to feel for the robots, I think.
Like, you would literally have one robot try to, like, pull a Tiananmen Square tank.
Yeah, it literally, there's like a part where, like, a guy shoots a robot in the head.
One of the things that I found really, really fascinating about this is all the references to real life things.
Yeah, like you have like a Tiananmen Square type robot. You have one that's like on its knees and getting shot in the head, which I think is like probably referencing that one photo of like the Vietnam where guys getting shot in the head in the middle of the street.
but looking at Wikipedia right now, they constantly quote the Bible. The first
Welcome to the Matrix.
The first robot sort of, of course that's a Matrix thing, the biblical reference, but the first robot to rebel is he's like
B166ER.
Like leet speak bigger.
Oh, it is! I wrote that down on my phone. I wrote down his name, and then I just looked at it, and I just like, wait a minute, that does look like bigger.
But that's a reference to a novel where the main character is Bigger Thomas, who is an African American who basically the same thing happens to him, from what I understand.
Is it like a civil rights movement thing? Like he killed somebody or something like that, but he's like, I have rights.
No, this book is from 1940.
Yeah, it's 1940, but it does seem to hit on that.
Okay.
But anyway, also there's during one of the court cases, they actually like play a quote from an 1856 court case where they rule that African Americans do not have citizenship. So this is like
case.
the most like out-referential thing, which is interesting. I respect it, but I don't think it's that relevant. It's like Detroit Become Human again.
Well, this did it first, so you could say Detroit Become Human is a rip-off of this.
15 years in advance.
Right. But I think it hits the same points of like, oh yeah, totally, robots are going to be just like the civil rights movement, and I don't think so.
I don't think we're going to get to a point where robots are advanced enough for that.
The singularity, but let's not get into that.
You know what? It'll happen when it happens.
But
we won't be here when it happens.
But then part 2 is what happens when the singularity does happen.
Okay, let me just say, the first one, I love the visual style. I
really like that one.
Yeah.
Second part?
Okay.
Second part,
very violent, very dark, very weird.
Yeah. In case you were wondering, the whole thing where they make the sky black, I'm pretty sure is entirely to explain why the entire sky is dark in the Matrix movies.
And it's the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah. Well, it's like the robot's just solar powered, so we're just gonna make sky black.
And it does nothing.
It does nothing except hurt the humans.
It doesn't work at all.
It honestly, that's probably one of my least favorite parts of this entire thing is humans being like, yeah, we gotta pollute the air to make us win. Like,
all I can say is it's dumb enough to sound like something we'd do.
But in real life, I feel like it's more of an ignorance thing, like a willful ignorance, than an intentional like, yeah, let's screw up the environment.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. I think overall it was pretty good, and I liked how they explained how the robots came to the conclusion that they needed to make the Matrix a thing.
I liked the focus on how the robots had been made in man's image, and that's not what they wanted. When they became more independent, they became more of their own form, which is
that was also really
people
cool.
are familiar with.
Yeah.
That seems very realistic to me. Like when the singularity happens, robots will deny human form, but that's...
I reject my humanity.
Oh no. I mean, yes, good reference.
Days since JoJo reference.
0.
Yeah, it's alright. I mean,
I like that one.
Hey, it does something that the movies never do of explain how the hell this happened.
I mean, it's canon Wachowski stuff, so...
Yeah.
Also, basically watching that, I'm like, wow, the Matrix universe really fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's horrific. This whole thing, there's this one great scene with the robot cavalry with flames in the background.
Oh,
it's oh my god!
Also, I think another thing that's canon in the Matrix universe that was, I think it's from the movie, is when people die, their like body is like burned up, turned into like black goo, and then fed to the other humans that are left.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because all the plants are dead.
Yeah. So they have to like use humans as fuel for other humans.
Oh, that's horrific.
Yeah.
Okay, also, I feel like this is really important. What's up with the robot goddess?
I don't know, man.
Okay.
Symbolism? Oh, are you talking about like the Buddha thingy?
The woman who like introduces it and ends it.
Alright, my sister's like on the Discord because she just created our fantastic portraits. But if you're hearing Discord noises in the thing, that's what it is.
Episode.
Yeah, she makes all of our portraits. Shoutouts to Lovely Deck on Tumblr.
Yeah, absolutely amazing thumbnails.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I really liked the second Renaissance thing. I don't know. I just really liked it.
It's necessary, but I would never watch it again.
Aww.
Yeah.
What about... Okay, so the next one is Kid's Story. This is the one about the kids skateboarding.
This is the first Shinichiro Watanabe, which,
yeah,
kind of incredibly famous.
He only did Cowboy Bebop.
Okay, but Bebop is like a thing,
Yeah, I know. I was joking.
Bebop.
This one has an incredible art style.
I really like the art.
The sketchy art style.
So
I really dig it.
Like you can see how much detail they put in it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's excellent. Even in motion, it's like really good. How it just like blurs and gets smudgy, and I'm like,
points,
I dig
in
this.
motion, it looks kind of gross, and like they freeze.
I think
that's
that's
kind of part of it. Is just the very sketchy, like not clear art style.
But yeah, it's great. I like this one a lot.
My problem is I don't really like the story that much. I thought it was kind of boring.
It's meh, but I think the art style is the focus.
The kid is just like talking with Neo, and he's like, "Hey, am I real?" And then he's like, "Is the Matrix real?" And then he's like, "Yeah." And then he's like, "Oh fuck!" And he jumps off a building.
One thing I liked in general about these is there seems to... Okay, I'll preface. I watched the sub. I regret watching the sub.
I watched it dubbed.
The dub of this one is kind of bad. The kid sounds really dumb.
I think the dub was the original.
Yeah, the dub was original, but they give the kid in this one specifically a stupid voice. Most of the dubs are good,
voices in the movies.
Yeah.
The characters that are in the movies have the same actors.
Yeah,
like Keanu.
Well, I don't think the kid was in the movies.
Yeah, Kid is in the second movie.
Oh.
It says this story takes place in between Matrix and Reloaded.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. A lot of the characters repeat except the ones who clearly die.
So that means we canonically have anime Keanu Reeves.
Yes, he's in for like 2 seconds.
But he exists.
But it's enough.
Okay, anyway, one thing I really liked about this was everyone's different interpretations of Agent Smith.
Yeah.
Because they were all very different. Like the one in this, they were kind of
numerous different people who are Smith.
Yeah, they were kind of like faceless.
Not just
and there's also like the security officers from the school, stuff like that.
Yeah, they were super cool.
instead of just 20 Hugo weavings.
Though that's great in its own way.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, this was probably one of my favorites, just because of the art style alone.
This is my favorite in terms of art style, but I'm not sure about the actual story.
Yeah,
it's kind of very straightforward. It wasn't terrible.
But this is the end of the actual Wachowski stories, so I think that's why.
And then from here on, we go into just original non-canon.
Yeah. So now the first,
who knows?
Yeah, the first semi-canon is called Program. It is.
I love this one.
My favorite. It's the best.
It's two people fighting.
This is probably my favorite.
So this one is two friends fighting because one of them is decided, hey, I've had enough of this Matrix bullshit. I want to forget everything. I want to go to the agents and, like, forget it all happened, and I want you to come with me. And the other person's like, no, and they fight. It's like two friends that really just don't want to be fighting, and they're just fighting.
And it turns out it has a twist ending where I'm assuming you watched, like, people watching, but there's a twist ending where it wasn't real. It was a test.
Yeah, it was all japes.
And oh my god, the ending! Oh my god!
She breaks the sword and then stabs him with the sword.
Yeah.
She does a stupid samurai thing where she grabs the sword by the blade.
Yeah, and then she's so strong that she can break it.
Oh my god! What's the Matrix?
Stabs him in the neck. Yeah,
it's the coolest kills I've ever seen in an anime straight up. It was amazing.
Oh my god! It's
also,
so good.
It has a really, really good art style. I like this one a lot.
It's Madhouse.
Oh, no, this one is beautiful.
Yeah, this is the first of the Madhouse ones too.
Best.
There's two Madhouse ones.
Undisputably, this is the best one. If there was a full movie of this, I would buy it in a second.
Wow. I really liked it, but it's not my favorite.
Oh, wow.
Really?
My favorite is actually the next one, World Record.
Ooh, World Record's really good too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys know who the director of World Record is?
No.
It says
it's the guy who did Red Line.
Oh my god! I knew it. I kind of. It looked really familiar artistically.
Because I loved this one too. This one is excellent.
In my notes, I literally wrote, "It's a bit like a less refined Red Line." It was literally a less refined Red Line.
Well, that explains why I liked it so much.
I love how the plot is literally just man runs so fast he starts seeing the numbers.
Man literally too athletic to see through the bullshit.
Yeah, oh my god. This one was good. It wasn't one of my favorites, but it's really good.
Yeah. I liked it. I thought they were gonna have a tragic ending. They were like the Smiths are like he'll never be able to walk again, but we gave him a world record, something that's good enough for him. And he's like, fuck this shit, I'm standing. He's like he broke the Matrix, and it basically he got a world record so hard that he was they explained that he's like starting to question like, shit, I started some weird shit when I was running real fast. Is any of this even real?
He was basically breaking the Matrix with his running.
Yes.
Yeah, he's just so fast that he just starts breaking through the constructed reality.
In my notes, I wrote, "Dude is ripped, like literally ripped."
Oh yeah, he like breaks a muscle.
Like he destroys his like.
Continues running and through sheer willpower continues the race and gets a world record.
Did you guys notice the moment when he rips his legs, like black goop comes out, like tentacles?
Yeah.
That was amazing.
I love it.
Oh, very
good.
I'd
say this one's definitely my favorite, but Program is a close second.
Program is my favorite, but this one is like top half.
I think I'm in the same situation where this is also like second place to Program.
Oh, but yeah. Oh, also, the flippin' Smith has wizard robes in this one.
Oh, yeah!
Why are they dressed like that?
Why not?
Why not?
It looks so cool. It's the Matrix. Nobody's going to question it if you could just program to not.
Each Matrix, because there's multiple matrices.
I guess.
I mean, they show in Second Renaissance that there was a prototype Matrix.
Oh yeah, it's something weird. I don't think they know for sure.
It was just like rooms.
Yeah. See,
that's probably the one shining thing I like about this is when people get original with the Wachowskis, like with the first movie.
That's what I love about this whole thing overall is just like, hey,
it shows how many different ways.
Extrapolating.
Yeah.
It shows how the Matrix movies could have gone. They could have had like a cinematic universe. I hate using that phrase, but they could have had a series of films, like anthologies like this, where they get different directors, they get new ideas, like how Star Wars is going.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Or they get new ideas, they get new art styles even, and they just go wild with this.
And they just expand on the universe, and they're like, it all is canon with each other.
I'm just, hey, what do you want to do with
just
the
make
Matrix?
it all canon,
and then let them go.
Yeah.
And some of these are made like Program World Record are awesome. They're like 9 out of 10 by themselves.
Yeah. See, next one, I guess, Beyond. This is a bunch of kids in a town. They get bored and they find the ghost house, which is actually like a weird glitch in the Matrix. In which,
I love
like,
that idea of just
floating.
the haunted house is a glitch in the Matrix.
And they were just having fun with it.
Yeah. They're having fun with it, and then the fun police arrive, and they're like, it's the Matrix. You can't find out about that.
Yeah.
It's the slice of life episode.
I like the idea, but in execution, it's too heavy-handed. It's too like, oh, you're not allowed to be people. This is a message about our society. Like,
is it?
I hated it.
I just kind of thought it had no message, and I was kind of bored.
You know what? I thought this would have been great as like a music video, like no dialogue.
Yeah. That would have been really cool.
But with the dialogue, it's weak.
Yeah.
Except visually. The visuals are great.
I really did like the visuals in this one,
the idea of
also the character
house
design in general.
The reality glitching.
Yeah.
Reality's corrupted.
Yeah. I thought it was a cool idea that they didn't do enough with.
Yeah, definitely not.
You can do more with this.
Yeah.
I wrote, the cat's fine, so who cares about gravity and time being destroyed?
Okay. Detective story, I guess.
The other one's another one.
God, Watanabe, what are you doing? Make more stuff.
You're just poking him with the stick. Come on, do something.
It's funny because I don't even like Shampoo that much, but this is so good.
I knew you'd like this one too. It's a freaking crime thing.
It's a film noir, like hardcore. They say Sam Spade in it. Like, come on.
Yeah, this one is a detective that is hired to find the hacker Trinity, but it turns out he's been hired by agents to find somebody that's figured out the Matrix.
You know what's funny? I don't remember Trinity from the first movie.
I think it's the Matrix 2 thing. I don't know.
It's not.
It's not?
It's not. Trinity is in all the Matrix movies.
Trinity is main girl character.
And I do not remember her.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I liked how his computer is like this weird typewriter thing on an old-timey
I noticed that
television
that's
screen.
Not like, what? That's kind of breaking the rules almost a little, because it's like very...
Well, it's the Matrix. It's his personal, like, world, and so they needed him to find a hacker, but I guess, computers were not a big thing in the world that he lives in. So
it's probably more like the Matrix was fitting to what he wanted to view the world as.
Something like that.
This one is actually supposed to be a prequel to the first Matrix.
I can see it. I mean, it doesn't really affect anything if it is or isn't, but
it's just kind of Trinity screwing around with people.
Trying to find out, could you be useful? Oh no, oh well.
They do the whole Alice in Wonderland thing that's very obvious in the beginning of the original.
Well, they literally are just like the code words they're using is Alice in Wonderland.
No, and at one point he's literally just looking through like the book itself.
But yeah, this one was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
I'd say this is probably my second one, actually. My number 2.
I knew you'd like this one because it's a freaking film noir.
It's really good.
I liked it. Oh, there's the freaking eyeball thing. Where they suck the thing out of his eye.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was great.
Yeah, and she's like, do you remember getting like an eye exam lately? And she's like, I think I had a dream about one.
Did you dream an eye exam?
He's like, how do you know that? And she's like, suck. Sucks this weird bug out of his eye that I guess the agents were using to track.
Well, yeah, that was in Matrix 1. They do that too.
Okay.
So it's more gory.
Yeah. And then I guess we have the last one, Matriculated, which I don't think is an
Can we not talk about this one?
This one
was so pretentious.
I imagine your opinion is this is the weakest.
Yeah, this is my least favorite.
I thought it was a cool idea. The idea of this one, I think, is that they created a second Matrix for the robots, so that they can get the robots on their side.
They created a human to robot Matrix.
Yeah, so basically the idea is the robots would use that, and then they'll learn to like humans again. But it spent way too much time on the robot going through this weird spirit quest.
Yes. Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah.
It was so weird. It was like, oh, now these two humans are having sex, and he's watching them, and then they run away, and then they melt off his skin and turn it into a ball. It's like, what is going on? And he turns into a human shape.
The one cool idea I think they had going for it was the robot was in CG, even in the weird spirit world.
The CG humans looked bad in this one.
I know the CGs were bad, but like I liked how the robot was even CG in the world, like in the weird world. So, yeah. Apparently this one I think is
the
Korean.
art style of this one.
Yeah, after everything else, it is very like, oh, that's different.
This one is written, directed by Peter Chung from DNA, which apparently is from Seoul.
He did Aeon Flux, which is a fairly well-known movie and TV series.
Yeah, the like anime, not anime.
And I believe the movie was live action.
I think this is the thing that inspired the Animatrix. I think the Wachowski brothers really liked that, so that explains why this was made.
No, actually, the reason why they made it was because the Wachowskis went to Japan.
Yeah.
And they met with a lot of the, like, probably Watanabe and stuff.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, do you want to do a short film? And they were like, of course.
Wasn't there a thing where it's like the Wachowskis showed like the studio execs like Ghost in the Shell and stuff to be like, hey, here's what we're trying to do?
Oh, definitely. Like, I don't know for sure,
that was a story or something.
It sounds like something that would happen.
Yeah, it sounds reasonable.
No, or they showed them Akira. It was like Akira or Ghost in the Shell. Maybe both. And they were like, this is what we want to do.
I think I heard Akira.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, Akira's pretty different.
But I guess
I've only seen Ghost in the Shell, so
of what they're going for.
Akira it's kind of disturbing.
Okay.
Like a lot more than Ghost in the Shell. But anyway, more about this short. I really didn't like it. I like the very beginning where they're showing like them living in like the hellscape.
Yeah.
Robots destroying everywhere, like skulls everywhere.
It's like those scenes in Terminator where they're in just Earth that's been fucked by Terminators.
Yeah, and you have some stuff where it's like the Terminators are just walking around stomping on skulls.
There's just metal everywhere. That's a good imagery, but yeah, I think the...
But what was up with the little monkey thing?
I don't know what's up with the monkey. That's weird.
It's never explained.
No, it's just the monkey character, you know.
And it has like a Matrix
sidekick from the Matrix.
It's in the Matrix. It's
Why
creepy.
is the monkey in the Matrix?
Does that imply that they've just put animals into the Matrix?
Does it imply that the monkey has a sentient mind?
I don't know.
Are you trying to say animals aren't sentient?
I'm just trying to imagine that, like, I'm just trying to imagine that the robots are putting the Matrix things on any animal with a brain. So, like, they get, like, birds and they put the jacks on the back of their heads.
And at the very end, it was the worst thing ever because the robot and the lady go into the Matrix. And I was like, oh, cool, the robot's, like, helping her. Yeah. That's really neat. And then she, like, screams and dies.
Yeah, I was confused as to how she even died.
According to the wiki, it says she realizes she is trapped inside the Matrix and just freaks out and just like, oh no, I don't like this robot. This is horrible.
Okay.
And then like kills herself like mentally, but I don't think that's what happened.
That's weird.
Again, flipping Wikipedia people just putting their own ideas on these things.
Maybe. Well, I mean, that's more explanation than I could even think of.
Watched.
I mean, they did that with Memories of Murder.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
When I was big wrong.
I mean,
the ending.
It's just that's when the Wikipedia gets questionable.
Yeah, it's always small stuff like this where it's like anybody can edit
really
it and not enough people check it.
No one saw the flipping 9th short in the Animatrix.
Yeah. And the people that didn't like it enough to write about it in Wikipedia. So yeah.
Worst one.
I think that was the worst one, yeah. Do we do an
So-
overall rating for this, or do we do a
Overall,
rating each part?
I mean, the thing about I have a problem with overall rating because this
Yeah.
is too different. It's
Yeah.
just way too different. But if I had to, 6 out of 10 because it's about half good, half bad.
I'd say 7 out of 10 because I did like the
7.
second Renaissance, which was 2 of
Yeah.
them. So
If you don't like the Renaissance, this is going to be hard to get through.
yeah.
If you don't care that much about the Matrix, just watch Kid's Story to Detective Story. Watch all of those.
Yeah, Kid Story, Program, World Record, and Beyond, and a Detective Story.
You can cut out Beyond if you want, but the art style is really good, so I recommend it. But I'm gonna rate it a 6 out of 10. That's
Yeah.
just in general.
7.
Yeah, I'd say overall this was really cool, and also I think I'm not entirely sure about this, but it kind of was a part for getting a lot more people into anime as a whole. I think because a lot of people in America were just Matrix fans, and they just liked film. And
I mean, it's 2003,
yeah.
peak of Matrix's popularity. The year both of the sequels came out, I believe.
Yeah.
The internet was just being big enough for people to share, you know, their
Toonami
ideas
is
online.
well into existing at this point.
Yeah. And so I think this definitely helped people get into anime because people are like, oh, anime's not just that weird Japanese Korean porn. It's also a really cool story.
I mean, at this point in time, I think Cowboy Bebop would start to take off.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had some early stuff with like Transformers and Gundam, or you know other.
Oh no, but at this point, like DBZ
Pokemon.
is already probably decently popular.
It is getting there, but it's not very
definitely
popular. And then Pokemon probably exploded shortly after this.
Oh yeah, I think, but a little bit before, because
Yeah, maybe.
I think the anime started about 2001, 2002.
I would say this got a lot more people into serious anime though, because probably there was a lot of people that were like, oh, anime, it's just that Pokemon shit that my kid watches.
Yeah.
Actually, I think a lot of the people into anime at this point would have been older, so I think this
Yeah.
helped get like a teen.
Yeah, definitely.
Demographic. But I think it's really neat. I think there's a lot of good ideas in it, but there are just some misses on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It shows
And-
what a really cool, not defined universe can like actually do, rather than
It
when
shows
a
what
director
Matrix
just
is
goes
without the
in.
Wachowskis.
And then when a director just goes in and gives you everything about a freaking universe, nobody cares. So yeah. Any other thoughts on the Animatrix?
Nothing else
You got
really.
any? Okay.
All right, I guess we're going on to
the music is forgettable. That's it.
Yeah. Also, the menu screen on my DVD was like way too short of a loop.
Oh yeah, I just remembered. The ending credits is just a bunch of clips, voice clips from the dub, and that's it.
Oh, also, I didn't realize that you could do a play all on the DVD, so I had to I was skipping through the credits every time, which the credits are like half of each short. But
Yeah, they're really long.
That was
They're
on
10
me
minutes.
because I didn't see the play all button. So yeah, I guess on
Drifters
to
time.
Drifters.
All right.
I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, fellas. I'm disappointed with my own choice.
I freaking
Oh.
love Drifters.
What?
It was great.
I am half and half on Drifters, actually. We have all of the emotions.
This is very new. It's usually the opposite.
Yeah.
Wow, this is weird. What?
Okay.
I
didn't-
What
okay.
is that?
I was really bored for the
enjoyed my
first
time
half.
with Drifters. It's not great, but it's fun.
I think it's kind of all over the place, and that was my problem.
Okay. First half is amazing.
No!
First half is awesome.
God damn it, I hated the first half.
I love the first half. So, like, episode 3, I think, is just, I was laughing. I was rolling laughing. I was
Really?
Because during all the comedy sequence, I was like, "Oh, Connor's probably hating this stuff."
Okay.
Wow.
The comedy was bad. I hate. Okay. Do we want to like actually start, or do you want me to get into it right now?
We'll get into it. Just do whatever you want.
Okay, we're going.
Wait, I guess
so.
for people that didn't see it, which why are you watching this? Because there will be spoilers. The basic premise
That's how
is
this
it's a bunch
podcast
of
fucking functions.
yeah, it's a bunch of people that were presumed dead, famous people throughout history. They actually went to this mystical universe in which there's this war that's being fought against like elves and humans and dwarves and shit.
basically these two warring like creatures, like we don't know what they are.
Yeah.
These two people take dead historical figures at the moment of their death and put them into a high fantasy, like Lord of the Rings inspired world. And they say, one of them says, go kill the Drifters, which they're the Ends. They're the air quote bad guys. I don't know. But, and then the Drifters, which are just told to do whatever. It's, okay, one problem I have with it is that they go really weak on the historical figures. Because first you got three people who are familiar to people familiar with Japanese culture and history, like Oda Nobunaga. Of course, people know who that is. He's insanely famous.
Yeah,
but
that one was my favorite.
But who are the others? Yoichi no Nasu or whatever? Like, who is that?
I don't know.
That's the pretty boy archer.
Yeah.
And then the main character, like, who even is that? Who are the Shimazus?
Yoichi is voiced by the same voice actor as Deku from My Hero Academia in the dub.
That's great.
And it was very bothersome because it was very confusing and off-putting.
But I'm going to say, basically my favorite part of this is the absurdity of some of the historical picks. Because when they introduce the villains, I think it's episode 3, The Ends, I had my favorite moment where they're like, okay, Joan of Arc.
Anastasia.
Joan of Arc is a sadistic firebender.
No, yeah, I haven't noted of like, Joan of Arc has fire powers because she was burned at the stake. Anastasia has powers because Russia.
History lesson: Joan of Arc was basically, I believe, a woman who tried to go to war but was considered a witch and burned at the stake at age 17 or 19. And you see her here as like a flippin'
20-year-old,
an androgynous warrior with firebending skills who is incredibly sadistic and aggressive.
Yeah, there was also.
And it's like, what?
There was also Rasputin. I think was towards the end.
Yeah, Rasputin shows up and he's like, "I control everything, and I don't have a beard."
Why is Rasputin the bad guy?
Why does he not have a beard?
I think it's stated somewhere maybe that like the Ends are people who are like wronged by society or something.
Yeah, it's stated explicitly that the Ends are people who are wronged, which is why it's flipping Anastasia, which I was crying at Anastasia because why would Anastasia fight anyone ever in any context?
You just have like Gandhi as one of the bad guys.
Nuclear Gandhi.
Nuclear Gandhi, of course. They have jokes.
Okay. If Gandhi was in this, I would rate it a 10 out of 10 because
it would make the mix very interesting.
Flipping Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I'm not sure they're real people.
I don't know. I think there's like historical. Let me Google this.
I know. I'm mostly joking, but like they're known for being in movies.
Let's see.
Those two amongst some others are like there's just a whole period where some characters just stop showing up, like they introduce Butch, like Cassidy and Sundance Kid, and then they just stop showing up for a stretch.
Oh, they were real people. Oh yeah, Hannibal and Sisyphus.
Scipio.
Yes. I can never pronounce his name right.
Africanus and the pilot just stopped showing up for like half the show.
Pilot has one actual scene.
Yeah, I was pretty mad because I liked the pilot a lot.
The pilot was Joseph Joestar.
I think somebody else was Joseph Joestar's voice actor in.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's one of the 3 English men that dress like women.
Oh no!
And he's constantly talking like Joseph Joestar in the scene. Where he's dressed up as a woman in JoJo Part 2.
Oh wait, you watched the dub, right?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, no.
Also, when with the Japanese voice actors, Toyohisa, main character, he's gonna be Bruno coming up in Part 5.
Oh shoot, he's Bruno. That's awesome. I think that's a good pick, but that's relevant.
Yeah. There was a lot of really familiar voice actors in the dub, and I could never tell who I knew what from, but there's too many of them for me to like just Google everything, so I didn't.
And that's really odd to me because if you looked into the studio at all, this is all they've done.
That's weird.
But this was a for this and this alone.
I will say the dub was by Universal. The dub was picked up by Universal, so I had the Universal intro for every episode.
That's good. I think first, let me just say, weirdly, like traditional and kind of offensive portrayal of characters. Okay, let's look at the female characters. There are 3. First of all,
there's like 5 total, but yeah, 3 notable characters.
No, there are 3.
No, there's the 2. There's the 2 in the end.
Woman referred to by her breasts.
Yeah, there's her.
Her gimmick is she has no self-confidence and big boobs.
There's Joan of Arc, who I like Joan of Arc. She's one of my favorite characters in this.
She calls Toyohisa a yellow monkey.
She was really entertaining. Anastasia, who shows up once to say her name, which is great. But
there's also that one girl that like is like the enemy to the guy at the desk that shows up for like 2 scenes.
Oh, Easy.
I didn't know her name.
Her name is Easy, if that
Really?
tells you anything about
Oh my
how
god.
well this is written. She looked exactly like the gambling girl from Kakegurui.
Oh god, yeah, you're right.
She was voiced,
I
I'm
think
pretty
I wrote
sure, by
it
your
when I
favorite
watched it
voice
myself,
actor.
and I know what you mean.
I wrote in my notes, why is the gambling girl threatening the Isekai Master?
Isekai Master!
I love the Isekai Master. He says nothing, but I love him.
He's just hanging out, reading his newspaper.
Yeah.
Murasaki was his name. Okay, I love all of my notes to this, so I'm gonna say a few. Is the Black King Sauron?
Oh, no. Early on, I predicted he was going to be Hitler, and then it was revealed instead Hitler does a different thing in this universe, and so later my prediction is Dark King is Jesus. Because he straight up says
that sounds like
the
something they
fig
do
before they bear fruit, and I'm like, that's a thing Jesus did.
It sounds like something they do.
Into this after.
I think it's Jesus.
I was looking into this after in the comments and stuff, and some people believe he's Hitler because some of the Black King's actions in his war strategies actually match Hitler's.
He said that like, oh, he mysteriously committed suicide. So it's like,
yeah,
but all of the visuals and stuff are very Jesus.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. Like again, he says, blight the fig trees, and I'm like, oh shit, is it Jesus?
Oh yeah,
Jesus.
And I'm like,
They
and
did
again, I'm
mention
thinking of,
something
"Wait,
about
the ends
Jesus
of people
also
who
when
were
referring
wronged.
to him.
Oh shit, who was wronged by humanity? Jesus.
Yeah.
Hitler is Jesus.
Oh no!
No.
Bad quote.
And can we just talk about how they treat Hitler in this anime?
Somebody just
I
clip
haven't
him
known
out of
Of course,
context.
they kind of treat Hitler like a good guy. God.
No, they look up at a painting of him and it looks terrible. It's
Yeah.
a terrible looking painting. And it's like,
maybe Hitler
like,
painted
oh
it.
no, he did a good job. He made the society.
Maybe
all
maybe
right."
Hitler
he's a
painted the
drifter,
painting.
so he's a good guy.
Yeah, they straight up say, he's
I
one
think
of the
the idea
good
is the
ones. and I'm like,
drifters
"God
aren't
damn it."
necessarily good or evil, or something like that. I
He's
don't know.
Hitler, come on.
Well, they basically say that what he did was good, but the empire he made was bad.
It was awful.
But he killed himself before that could happen, so that makes
Yeah.
him good. Let me just say, if it's Jesus or Hitler, the Black King seems like a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
There are instances where I'm just like, no, he's got the right idea though.
He's like, let's civilize these people, and it's like, oh, it's exactly what the other people are doing. They're civilizing the elves and the dwarves.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be the bad guy until I realized that he actually wasn't the one that made the society the way it is.
Right.
That was actually Hitler.
Actually, Hitler.
It was literally Hitler that did that.
It was
so,
literally Hitler.
Now I don't know
can
what's
blame
going on.
Hitler. You can blame Hitler in this anime. And
No, and you have like stuff where like Black King is being very like sympathetic, like, oh no, every single one of my soldiers matters, no matter
but
how
then he like
lowly.
brutally
I'm like,
tortures that
dude, he's
dragon.
like being a good guy.
Yeah. I don't think they used the World War II pilot enough. I know they're going to expand on that in probably like a later season.
Well, there's also I believe, World War II sailor guy, captain.
Yeah, there's a
Navy
captain
man.
like in the intro that I don't think I've ever seen in the show. And
He
if they
shows
did,
up once for like maybe 2 minutes in the show.
Oh, there was like a there was like a cut where they had like sailors or something.
And
And he's like leading some dragon guys, and he has them yelling Tor.
oh my god,
yeah.
I hated that. I was like, you're seriously doing
Oh,
that?
it was extra bad in the dub.
Oh no!
They're like, "What are you yelling?" And they're like, "We're yelling Tora, Tora, Tora. That means that we got him without knowing." It's like, shut up, stop, no.
Oh no! Oh no!
And then they say it more. I'm like, stop.
That's okay. That's what I love about this series. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's popcorn
It's
fun.
very dumb.
Oh yeah, like I was saying, it also, in addition to being misogynistic, it is incredibly homophobic.
Oh, yep.
To the point of being painfully unfunny.
I didn't see it. Are you
The
talking about like
crossdresser.
the? Okay, yeah.
No, and
The
then
crossdresser-
the Soldiers of Thebes, which I looked into it, and like according to Wikipedia, and says it's like it's an army made entirely of like couples of gay men.
But yeah, the crossdressers are all referred to as in the dub as Okama, and that is basically like back in old age Japan, it was basically a respectful way to refer to people who were like, I guess I don't know how to explain it being culturally sensitive, but it's not a very sensitive thing. It's actually pretty offensive. But basically, incredibly flamboyant, like gay stereotype, like performers.
Okay.
Like they made a living out of being gay.
All right.
So the fact that they're referring to them as Okama,
Yeah.
the Crunchyroll sub made it an offensive, like a slur.
Okay.
No, the cultural sub, it's just he's referred to as princess whenever his like goons are talking to him.
Yeah, the goons. I'm talking about other, like Nobunaga refers to him as a slur in the Crunchyroll sub when he just says Okama, which isn't a slur in the translation. But I'm just.
I don't know what word they use in the.
This was a couple years
dub.
ago. It's weird.
Yeah.
But it's definitely homophobic.
I will say it could be a case of just the character being that way, which I mean, yeah, probably he would be. But yeah.
I'm willing to admit that the manga is, it's offensive, and that's just how it goes,
Yeah.
But
sorry, go ahead.
I think the action in this is amazing. It's really well animated.
I really liked the animation. My problem was it was really dark. Like physically, I couldn't see it that well. It didn't help that there was a lot of glare on the screen.
They really liked doing the thing where when they didn't want to animate their face, they literally blacked it out.
Yeah.
And I hated that. It's so cheap. But it's the studio's debut, so I'm like,
I'd say I didn't know this was a debut for a studio, so I'll say that's a really hell of a start.
It's really impressive debut. I hope they do more.
And I'm serious, they had a lot of like recognizable voice actors.
Oh yeah.
I know there's like an OVA sequel that's basically just season 2 for this.
They did 2 episodes, but I believe they're still going to do a full season.
Yeah, it's just on Blu-ray release.
Which is neat. I'm not going to watch it.
I liked the second arc of this better than the first, or the second half of it.
I think they lost all of their shock value in the second half, and it was just going through the motions,
I was genuinely
the second half was really slow. It was like, they're just sort of doing, okay, gotta get the dwarves now.
No, you see, I was genuinely interested in the quest for more guns.
I was too. That was probably my favorite part of the whole thing. Like, unironically.
I just like the idea of like how much guns fuck up warfare forever. Once you invent them, you can't like uninvent them.
I loved his strategies. I loved his speech about how guns make simple soldiers. They can make any citizen a soldier.
I really liked that whole thing.
And him just losing it over seeing like the Gatling gun of being like, what? This is what guns get to be later?
I was very disappointed that he never gets to use a revolver in this part of the show.
Because he gets thrown one. He gets thrown
he's given the revolver, but he never gets to fire it.
He gives him one, and then nothing happens.
And of course they didn't invent the casing, so they couldn't reload the Gatling gun that they got. Which is awesome, and I can't wait for them to use.
Oh man, honestly, I would seriously consider watching a season 2. I don't know if I will.
I would consider it. They'd have to actually expand on Butch Cassidy and the World War II pilot plots.
Well, they didn't. They basically didn't say anything about the Octobrists.
Yeah.
Which are just generic, weird magic people.
Which, let me just say, I like the Decemberists a lot more. Haha, funny music joke that 2 people get.
Okay,
What?
I mean, sure.
I don't get it.
They're a good band.
Ah.
But there's a lot of wasted potential in a lot of the characters because like they really flesh out Joan of Arc, they really flesh out Toyohisa.
I felt like they were interesting.
Nobunaga.
I felt like they were introducing way too many characters too quickly. I couldn't keep track.
Yeah. Like I
There's
said,
the dude who turns into salt when he dies, and he's just sort of immortal.
Yeah. I'd also, I would want them to do like a JoJo, like title card for each of the famous people that come in, because I am not well versed in my history, and I don't know who some of these people are.
Oh, you mean like a
like
narrator? Like, oh, Tarkus and Buford were real people.
That would have been really cool.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Give us a little just
have
quickie,
like a little joke
hey,
about
here's
them.
who this person is, here's what they did.
Here's Rasputin. He fucked the Russian queen and then got shot, poisoned, and suffocated. And he didn't die until the suffocation part happened.
Also, he featured in a Boney M song. Rah Rah Rasputin.
I love that song so much.
I love it.
It's a good song.
If you need to know about Rasputin,
another good,
that's pretty much all you need.
One of the good comedy moments that got me was Scipio and the pilot meeting and then being like, hey, wait, you're from Italy, we're buddies. And then
he's just like,
Italy betrayed the Axis, and then he starts...
Yeah,
that was so good.
That was good.
That's why I want to see more of that little, that relationship. That would be great.
Yeah, but they show literally like that's the seed, and then they're gone for the rest of the thing.
Also,
they never appear again until like the credits.
I'm sure they're gonna do more with this later, but like, you could completely write the Hannibal out of this until they actually use him.
I like how they use Hannibal, honestly.
They kind of don't. I don't know what you're talking about.
They do with the one scene where he mashes the raspberries.
He mashes the raspberries, and then he's like, I got an idea. And I'm like, okay, sure.
But yeah, when he's introduced, he's completely useless, and they could have just kicked him out.
But I think they're going to do something with him later, so I'll give him that much. But, like, come on.
Come on.
So, yeah.
Make more anime.
I will watch more of this, but there is a chance that if it isn't entertaining, I will drop it.
I don't know if I will or not.
I mean,
I would wait for like an entire season to come out and then watch it later on. I wouldn't just be on the edge of my seat going, when's the next episode coming out, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel, because the ending was really weak.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's the thing that I was mostly upset about.
I kind of like by episode
sort of ends
8,
and it's like, hey, see ya, maybe eventually someday.
By episode 8, I was like, there's going to be a second season.
They literally back out on the last fight. They're like, oh yeah, we're totally going to do a cool fight between the two sword guys, and it's like, no.
We'll meet again, Snake.
Like force exit, like Alt F4.
Well, I just knew that they couldn't possibly wrap it all up by like episode 8, and I'm like, there's gonna be
I was realizing that myself.
Oh yeah.
Like, this is not gonna.
There's too much going on. There's going to be more than what they've written, because I don't see all of these plot points being satisfyingly wrote together this early on. And I'm kind of glad they didn't try to do that.
I have a few more things.
Yeah?
The faces look terrible like half the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like Toyohisa has a number of times where his face looks very stretched and awful.
Nobunaga looks the worst.
I thought it was the samurai, the guy that's at the beginning of the show. I don't remember his name. What's his name?
Main character?
Yeah, main character. What's his name?
Toyohisa.
Yeah, there's a lot of moments where his eyes are just completely circular, and he reminds me a lot of the Terraformer's face. I don't know why.
Oh no!
I'm surprised.
And like you can't see his nose. It's weird.
I'm surprised you guys didn't like Toyohisa the most. I thought Oda Nobunaga looked horrible most of the time.
No, I liked the way that they made him look awful. Like, there's something about
it looks
that.
Like he's just got this evil,
like he was just
demonic
completely
grin
like
most of the time.
But his
I like
mouth
the way
and
that
eyes.
he was. I know. I like how terrible it was. It made him look like a stupid pirate.
Constantly.
I noticed that, and I'm like, I should hate this, but I liked it. I don't know why.
But it works. It makes him look like the devil.
They made him look disgusting, and I think that was the point.
I think it's disgusting to the point of incompetence.
I don't know.
Ooh.
Yeah, I guess they could have reeled back on it, but I love that. Just this old gross man that was famous because he was a warlord, and well, that's probably what he would have been like.
And one more thing, well, I guess something that disappoints me is that, with that specifically, is that the opening looks amazing.
The opening is awesome.
The opening's so good, and the song is so good.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I really do. Yeah, the opening. Yeah.
It's actually, from what I understand, like a legitimate band, and they remixed the song for Drifters. It's in English.
Yeah, it was in English. I was confused. I wasn't sure if it would if they changed it for the American opening.
No, I'm gonna look up the band. I think they might be. I don't know if they're Japanese.
No, I'm pretty sure it's like an American.
Well, if it was
band.
in English, then I guess they didn't change it because that was what I had too.
It's minutes till midnight. I'll just say that.
That's such an American band name.
They do not
5
have a
seconds
Wikipedia
to
page.
summer. Ah.
That's hilarious. I'm going to assume that they are.
That sounds American.
American.
Minutes
Pretty
to
sure
midnight.
it's an American band.
Yeah.
And they just were like, hey, this sounds cool, let's use it. Can we use it? And it's like, yeah, use it, please.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
Yeah, they're American. That's cool. They used an obscure
I'd like to see
American
more
band.
anime of just like, hey, this sounds awesome, let's use
Yeah.
it.
I mean, flippin' Eden of the East used Oasis.
I don't know too much about Eden of the East.
Do you know Oasis though?
I've heard the name. I don't remember what they done.
Wonderwall,
Ah, that's the one.
which
Everyone's
I love Oasis.
favorite.
So.
If
Oasis
you're a
is good, shut
guitarist,
up.
you know that Wonderwall is like one of the most overplayed songs by amateur acoustic guitarists everywhere.
It's a meme. Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
Say baby.
Yeah, no.
Enough.
Other than that,
my-
the only other note I have is Mr. Call of Duty is in the back of behind the main character at the beginning, and he just goes, "What the
Yeah,
frick
there's
is
like
this?"
some Vietnamese soldier from like U.S.
From
soldier
like Vietnam.
and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
he's like, "What the
that
frick
guy.
is this?"
Yeah.
Where does he go? Where's he end up?
I want a Call of Duty anime.
I think
Just
in
see
general,
how that would play out.
Oh, it wouldn't be very good.
It would not. I'd watch that
think-
train wreck.
My thoughts in general of this is that it gives me a very bootleg Golden Kamui JoJo vibe. Like, it's definitely inspired by those. It has this kind of ridiculous, over-the-top action, ultra-violence, lots
Goofy
of comedy. Lots
Yeah.
of comedy thrown in there. That's why it's more Golden Kamui.
I think there was a moment where I was just like, "Is this David production?" Like, I think there's like actually a moment where I did question that, but it wasn't. It was the new studio.
But I don't think it's as good as either of those. But it's definitely a lot of fun.
I will say it is
recommend-
its own style, which is all you can ask for sometimes.
It's very unique.
Yeah. I hate it when things are just trying to copy other things and not be
Like,
anything cool.
That reminds me of something very recent.
What?
There was a teaser for a remake of the very old '60s Dororo anime,
Yeah?
which is about a samurai who loses all his body parts and has to get them back one by one by murdering demons.
Okay.
And there was this really amazing teaser released a couple of months ago that was like a very ink paint style, like very stylistic, very high contrast and unique. And then they released a teaser like a couple days ago. That's just it's Attack on Titan style, like Shonen. And I'm like, no.
I'm still gonna watch it.
I mean, the action might be good, but it just loses a lot when you try to do that typical style.
Yeah. The heavy outline.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Drifters is weird. It's fun. It's good.
Yeah, I'd say it's overall good. It's a 7, 6.5 out of 10. I'd say it's over 7. Yeah.
I think I'll go with 6.5.
All right.
Wow,
That's fair.
pretty high.
Okay.
Did I convince you?
I'm having trouble with this one. It's hard.
Did I convince you that it's all right?
I think
I
I'll go
will
with
say
7.
that if a second season
7.
isn't good, it will probably bring my score down.
Yeah. If
Because
they
like
don't
you've
follow up-
built up to a lot of
Yeah.
stuff that like, hey, there's still a lot to do.
And the manga's ongoing, I believe.
Characters to introduce later on.
I can't remember any good music from the show except for the opening, and
the opening.
Closing was
That's all you need.
Yeah.
The ending's fine.
Yeah,
There's a lot of, like,
I only stayed through it like a few
during
times.
Scenes that's reused a lot that I noticed. It's just kind of like they literally use the same 3 songs.
I didn't pay attention to the music that much, but I guess that means it wasn't that memorable.
Yeah. It's nothing memorable, but like you
At least
hear
it
it a
wasn't
lot,
awful.
and it's like, oh, it's this song again.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah.
Alright.
So
I think that's our show.
take a Rudy's.
So, showdown.
Are we doing the showdown?
Woo!
Max,
Wah, wah.
you are already dead.
Mwah. Oh yeah, we gotta get the Mwav from the Mitch.
Okay.
Oh, the movie, yeah.
Yes.
We've
That's how you pronounce that word.
We've had a string of stuff that's kind of not been always hitting the mark with us, you know.
Okay.
A little disappointed in things here and there, so I felt it's time for me to go back to my bread and butter.
Oh no!
Oh, are we
It
getting...
is time to go back to the sort of stuff we did in episode 1.
I know.
It's time to
We
go
can't
back
do Pacific Rim 2. We can't do that.
Pacific Rim 2.
No,
But
don't.
it's not Pacific Rim.
Good.
It's not even Godzilla.
It's not Godzilla.
It is time for something else.
Okay.
This is
Go on.
Get on with it.
Guardian of the Universe.
Wait, what?
Gamera.
Guardian of the Universe.
Okay.
Basically, number 2 big kaiju franchise in Japan behind Godzilla. The DC to Godzilla's Marvel, effectively.
That's one way to put it.
That's not a good comparison.
It's the Mission
Not in the sense
Impossible
of
to
the
James
movies,
Bond.
but in the sense of like, hey, it's the counterpart.
Okay.
Of It's the Other Guy.
I was kind of hoping for Against Mechagodzilla. I still need to see that.
I still need to see that too, but no, we can watch tomorrow.
I know.
Not all of our audience has seen, you know,
Godzilla.
the original 1954 Godzilla film.
Do you think people are gonna want to watch Gamera?
Gamera, hey, Gamera is really neat. He is made of turtle meat.
It rhymed weird.
That's enough.
He's neat. He's made of turtle meat. That's all I need.
Wait, what year? What year is it?
I enjoyed.
This is This is the first movie of the '90s trilogy.
Oh, '90s. Okay.
So this is the time period you really haven't experienced with kaiju stuff yet, because you've experienced like the beginnings with Godzilla 54 and like modern day now.
I've experienced some great.
So this is like a nice 1995. So this
Connor
is like
and I have experienced War of the Gargantuas.
Yeah. So
that one's
kaiju filmmaking you haven't really touched yet. So
All right. That sounds interesting. Connor,
So,
what's your show?
Are you guys? I don't think you guys are ready.
I'm not. But go ahead.
You could have predicted this. We're doing Madoka. Screw you.
Oh shit!
We were discussing this recently that neither of these folks have seen Madoka or
I still don't know
anything
what it's
about.
about.
It. Let me tell you.
Well, I mean, I know it's like magical girls, but edge.
Look up nothing about this show. Guess nothing about this show.
No.
Watch the TV version. Do not watch the movies. 2011. It's I believe it's Shaft. Yeah, it's Shaft.
I don't want to get
sorry
shafted.
for recommending everything Shaft because flipping Kubikiri was
What
also
is your
Shaft.
deal?
But Madoka is it's actually considered like top 5 one of the best anime ever created.
According to who?
According to like anyone who's ever watched it.
Okay.
Wait, of course. Never mind. It is written and created by Gen Urobuchi, who you might know from Suisei no Gargantia,
which we're watching in our club pretty shortly.
We're watching right now, basically.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons why I did this, because now you'll get Urobuchi's reputation.
He also wrote the first anime Godzilla movie.
He did do that, which is less fortunate. I'm really excited to see your reactions to this. It is a magical girl anime, and that's all I will say. So expect it to be, fun.
Delightful.
All right.
Fun.
Fun for the whole family.
Oh yeah. Bring your kids. Bring your dog.
Bring your dog.
Bring your
dog.
parents.
I can't keep my dog in my lap for like 2 seconds before he freaks out and like sees something and like a squirrel or something. Oh yeah. Anyways, goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.